G'day everyone, it's James Davis from the Paxate Academy. It's been quite a while since I've jumped on to do a solo video for an industry thought bubble, but I've been having so many conversations around AI that I thought I'd show you some demos today and have a chat about what's available. Everyone's waiting for Microsoft Copilot to come out and be able to purchase licenses before they do anything, and I've been talking a lot about the need to not only look at how to govern AI use in the organizations, which I'll talk to you as we go, but also how to set up their tenancies correctly with Azure, proper Azure AD setups through Entra ID, and things like DLP and sensitivity labels are going to be important. And then as you see what I'm talking about with the AI capabilities, the need to drive adoption and enablement is a lot more critical than what people are thinking about. Everyone's just diving straight to being able to turn on a license and all the magic happens, but that's not what this is about. So let me share my screen and take you on a bit of a journey. What I want to talk you through today is really what's already available from Microsoft and the capabilities. What you're seeing here is Edge, the Edge browser on my screen, and you'll notice in the top right-hand corner, there's already a Copilot icon if you've got Business Premium or above. It already comes free. So we've already got some AI capability. What you're seeing at the moment is the chat component, and here you're able to basically gather information and resources. And I'm going to ask you the question of what's the best marketplace for MSPs to buy their SaaS subscriptions. And I can type slower than I can speak, so let's let it formulate an answer. And what you'll start to see, and what I'll point out is, compared to a lot of other generative AI, Microsoft doesn't have a public language model with how they operate this. What's really interesting is that they've built this capability off the back of Microsoft itself. They've got enough resources, enough people around the world that they've done a lot of this internal testing and this building of this capability before they've come out and released it to the public. So what happens with this is it doesn't actually send back my answers and results unless I ask it to and help it get better. Otherwise, it stays private to me, and the history disappears after I go. So this is a lot better assistant based AI than a lot of the other options out there. And you'll see not only did it build out an answer, compared to a lot of other generative AI, it has resource links. So I can go to where it's got the information from, and it's taken me on that journey to be better and understand what it's coming from. So it doesn't have that hallucination. It doesn't make up answers. I've tried this a lot of times. If there's something that it doesn't know, it will directly say it. So it doesn't make up answers, which is vital for end users that are a lot less experienced. If they don't know, it'll give you information here of where to go find those sources so they can learn more, but also not making up those falsified hallucinations means that it's a lot safer already. Now, a lot of people know that Bing Chat Enterprise existed before the rebrand to Copilot, and a lot of people tried it out and they used the chat functionality and they didn't get what they were expecting. And that's that more creationist generative AI. And so up in the top right hand corner, I can click on Compose, and it's going to take me to another bit of functionality. And this is where I can get it to write things on my behalf. So I'm just going to go write me an article about AI for MSPs and how they can utilize it for their clients. And Of course, as I'm being recorded, my spelling's atrocious and I need to fix it up. But what you'll see, it's not just a prompt where I have to type everything in and get everything right. There's some fields here that I can select as well to help frame this up, which makes it a lot easier for the end user. I'm super casual, like everyone knows, so I'm going to pick that as my tone. I'm going to make this a blog post, and I like things short because I don't like to read. But even just those three sort of options, it helps with adoption. Not everyone's going to do prompt engineering. Not everyone's super interested in doing it. So even just those sort of three configurable items straight away that are very self-intuitive can help produce very different results and allow people to do what they need to do to get these answers. As you can see, we're all sort of used to the generative AI at this point. But what I found is it produces a lot better results. It is less hallucination, like I was discussing before, but it's a lot, because it's a lot more intuitive and a lot more control out of the box, and because people at Microsoft have used this for quite some time, it produces quite good answers. It's the one that I will use if I ever want to do something to do with generative AI. It's very rare that I use something to create any form of content or ideas, but often I can use this to get sort of a starting point of maybe how to better frame it, conversation, or just as I'm playing around to get better information. The next exciting thing that I will drag over to the screen now is the functionality out of the box of being able to interrogate data. So what you're seeing here is a PDF, and at the moment it can only interrogate PDFs or websites, but I'm going to play around with the PDFs. Now, if I open up Copilot with this, it gives me some extra functionality. I'm going to select generate a document summary here, and you'll notice that it pops up a warning. And what the warning's talking about is it's not saving this conversation. It is warning me that the information that I'm reading over, it might not be available to the public. So it's treating these PDFs as sensitive information for sort of one-time use for what I'm doing. Again, it doesn't get pushed to the large language model. And as soon as I go away, all of this history is gone. Any insights that I've got from this are gone. So if I click got it, what it's done in the background while it was giving me that warning was building out a summary. And it's pretty good at understanding that. I can then start to ask questions. So I'm going to ask, what is the cost of these courses? And we'll see what it spits out. But while we don't have the full access to the M365 Copilot that allows you to work directly inside Word documents, PowerPoint slides, Excel spreadsheets, what we're able to do is save those documents as PDFs and then gain the insights off the back of this. Now, it's come up with answers, it's given me links inside the documents, and we're able to interact with it in a different way. So instead of having to read the full version, we can start asking and interrogating the questions to get the answers that we're looking for. And it's a bit of functionality that not a whole lot of people understand that are there and how to utilize it. But knowing all of this, it will give you that sort of competitive advantage over most other partners out there, because they're not looking at these things. They're still stuck in waiting for Copilot. There's people waiting for it. And as we prepare for Copilot to come out, like I mentioned, that whole readiness practice, it's very easy, like what I'm doing now, to do some demos, show some people. These things aren't easily visible, and you can start building out use cases. So far, we've only spoken about written word and being able to find information. Very handy. But I'm going to show you the next level of functionality that I've also been playing with, and that's around images. So if I jump back to my original Edge, right here, the next thing you can play around with is Image Creator. So what it enables you to do is ask it to generate an image. So I'm going to just say, create me an image of a red apple running away from a bear. Just being silly, I'll let it start to create. And as that happens, it can take some time, depending on what time of day you're doing it, whether you've got these tokens up the top that allow you to create it more quickly. The more detail that you put in these prompts, the better the images. But I'll let that keep creating, and I'm going to jump. Oh, there you go, beat me to it. And you can see here, you can start to, it creates you a couple of images. You can keep changing the prompts. For time's sake, I'm just going to pick this one because it looks the funniest. What you're able to do straight away is share it, save it, download it, but it also allows you to customize it. And what that takes you to is another AI tool from Microsoft Designer. And now Designer is a bit of a Canva equivalent. It's not quite at the level of Canva, but for a free tool, it's got a lot of functionality. It allows you to remove the background of images, change the filters, allows you to resize it. So let's say I want to, helps if I click the button. Let's say I want to put it as a Facebook ad. I'll click that. It'll play around. It may not work with some of these images that are created, but I can just skip this and come back. But you're able to add different components to it and play it around. Now, if I go to Microsoft Designer straight up, I can import images to remove backgrounds. I can generatively erase people out of the photos, all that sort of stuff that requires some talent in Photoshop or things like that. It's got that capability in here. But I'm going to go and generate a design to show you the other way that we can sort of play around with images. I'm going to ask it to create me an image for a LinkedIn post about an MSP implementing AI for their clients. Now, again, I'm putting very vague prompts into it, so I'm getting very generic results. The more detail and context that you put in, you get better results. I'm just lazy, but also just showing you the sort of level that it will produce without even being that great at doing these sort of things. And so I'm going to pick this one at random, and I can customize it. I then have a starting point where it's already got text labels and different backgrounds, and I can play around with that and rename things as I want. And then I can export it. I can download it and export it as a PNG, or if I want it as a PDF. But I can build out these sort of documents and images for marketing and sales collateral or social media posts a lot better. You've probably seen the rise of those sort of images coming out. The next thing that I can't show you, but will recommend as I stop sharing, is to look at Teams Premium. So Teams Premium has AI built into it. So all the sort of functionality that you've been hearing around people being able to get meeting notes, mentions, sentiment analysis, those kinds of things from Teams meetings are available in some form in the Teams Premium license. So for a couple of dollars a month, we've got access to these sort of 4 or 5 tools that not that many people are aware of. And so if you jump on board, you take this sort of lesson from this video, very quick video today, you can start getting out there and start educating your clients and getting ahead of the game. Most partners aren't looking at AI, like I said before, they're waiting. And this is something that I wouldn't recommend waiting on because it is a consumer-driven technology. Now, they need help around the governance, the data security, the enablement, etc. But if you're not on the front foot talking about this and potentially get to the point where Copilot comes out, they demand the licenses and you aren't quite sure of how to utilize this, you're on the back foot, there is a very large risk that clients are going to churn. I'm already seeing it with cybersecurity, that the level of maturity of the partners aren't high enough for a lot of clients, and they're really looking for you to elevate as a technology advisor. So this is something at a very low cost in terms of technology that you can get in front of them and start to show that worth as a technology advisor to help enable them in their business. It'll open up a whole bunch of other revenue streams for you. But this is a safer way of doing it at a lower cost that you can start to look to transform your business. So hopefully this sparks some thoughts around different ways and methods that you can look at AI. And I hope you take some steps to start utilizing it and help your clients embrace it. Good luck.